Awesome. Well, thank you, Andrew. So, hello everyone. My name is Colin Lang, and I was a developer for Bubble Up. And alongside me is Ava. She was the artist on the team. We were a part of the online Georgia Discord game jam. We won that one, and so got a lot planned. I'll go ahead and give the quick elevator pitch of what Bubble Up is. So right now, well, I say right now, but the goal for Bubble Up is an underwater Metroidvania with like a casual and friendly spin, which is completely different than the 48-hour jam. The 48-hour jam was like a roguelike wave combat. So I can kind of show it with this one bubble here. Most of the game in the game jam was you were in a bubble, the bubble's going to the surface, you had to defend your bubble, and then there was a shop. We scrapped it and we were like, what was fun? And the most fun part of the game was getting out of the bubble and exploring the ocean and then collecting coins. And so what was originally a roguelike is now a casual Metroidvania. And the reason why I stress the word casual is it's not going to have a ton of locked doors. It's not going to have a ton of barrier of entry. It's going to be, but it's not going to be super linear at the same time. So there's going to be maze-like elements to it. For today's little demo, don't have a lot of time, also don't have a lot to show. This is kind of like a debug room. So this is an example of a pirate ship. And the story behind the game is this is Munny the monkey, and a thunderstorm has sunk his pirate ship, and him and the crew all went to the bottom of the ocean, and your goal is not only to escape the ship, but to get to the top of the ocean and find out any secret lore, collect any secret loot along the way. That's where it's kind of like maze-like, and it's more of an action adventure game. But like I said, it's very chill. The main mechanic of the game is you can see on the bottom left there's a meter slowly decreasing. That's your oxygen. Your oxygen is your life. It's your jetpack fuel. It's also your breath. So that one mechanic does 3 different things, and you can see it's slowly depleting. Right now I've used this is 2 upgrades. So when you start the game, you'll only have a quarter bar, and then you'll slowly make your way to half bar, 3/4, and full quarter. And our goal with this game, the audience is kind of like 8 years old to young adult. We're planning to release it on Steam and itch for Linux and Windows. We thought about making it free, but I think our goal is to make this like $1.99 with like a couple areas. So this first area is the pirate ship. It's very linear right now, just some coins placed about. The goal is to have like a bedroom, and then have like a treasure room, and then have like the captain's quarters. And basically you have to like go through these rooms. But for today's gameplay demo, this is a very linear room, kind of showing what the goal of the game is collect coins, try to make it to the next bubble, because each bubble is a save point. So if I was to quit the game and then come back, I would be at this bubble. And also this is a nice safe spot, so no enemy. There's probably in this version enemies will still be aggressive, but the goal is it makes you completely safe in here, and you can catch your breath. And then when you go back out, then that's when your breath starts going down. The first enemy here is a jellyfish. They're kind of like zigzag back and forth, and if you click it, you can get shocked. It pushes you, puts you in stun, puts you in knockback. We're definitely intending to use those on tight hallways and to put 1 million of them everywhere. But at the same time, we want to make every room unique enough where it's not just cookie cutter, copy and paste. It's going to have a bunch of unique stuff like cannons. Here's an example of our puffer fish. They're kind of like mines. They kind of don't go anywhere. But again, they can like take up tight spaces. They really push you really far. I'll kind of go by them, get to the next save spot. And then the last enemy we have so far in this demo is a swordfish. Now the swordfish has line of sight. I'm going to go back here and catch my breath real quick. So he doesn't currently see me, but once he finally gets to see me, he's going to kind of chase me. And how the swordfish AI works is you can get out of their zone. He's caught right now, but once you get to a certain point and he's not able to see you, he'll go back to his zone of control. But with this being a very early version, I of course need to work on the pathfinding so that he doesn't just get stuck like that. So I'll run away from him, and get to the next bubble. Maybe I can, let me see if I can yeah, there you go. I out-chased him, but also that's an example of me entering the bubble, so he knew not to attack me anymore, but again, need to work on that AI. The last thing I will show is the idea of areas. So this is a big bubble, and so a big bubble transitions the scene. So the idea is in this ship, there's going to be multiple areas of entry, so you can leave the ship, then you'll be in the big ocean floor. And so here's an example of the big ocean. It's a lot darker. It's a lot more spacious. There's not a lot for today's demo to show with the ocean, but you can see it's very big, very open and wide. And this was originally going to be like our hub, so we could have multiple areas that you can travel to. You can go in and out of big bubbles. And also the goal with our game is to have a big boss at the top. So there's going to be kind of a funnel or a bottleneck where you fight. Right now, we're leaning towards Octopus, but some kind of big gatekeeper who's blocking your entry. And you can technically fight the Octopus right away or as soon as you can, but the more oxygen upgrades you get, the more weapon upgrades you get. Right now, Munny here only has the basic hook. The lot easier the final gate boss is going to be. And so the goal of the game right now is for March 31st to have the ship area and the ocean area. So I'm going to go ahead and show an example of going back to the ocean. There it is. I lost track of the big bubble. So this is, again, showing the transition going back to the ship. March 31st, we're going to do a ship, going to do the big ocean, and then we're going to do the final boss. We're also planning on May 31st, if we do an early access, to have 2 areas. So it'd be a ship, some kind of a cave with a big crab is what we were thinking. But again, it's all ties together to that big ocean and then that final boss. So that's kind of our goal so far. I probably went over the 5 minutes, so thank you, Andrew, for the time. But with that, I'll leave it up to any questions or any comments.
Yeah, great demo. First question from Mehdi in the chat. Why did you abandon the roguelike?
Great question. So I thought about showing it, but I didn't want to hog up too much time what our 48 game jam was. But it was, to sum it up, it wasn't fun, and it didn't have a lot of room to grow. And so it would have been easier, definitely, from a scope perspective. It would have definitely been easier, but it just didn't feel fun. So we really just took the elements that were fun, which was getting out of the bubble and hopping bubble to bubble, kind of like the barrels in Donkey Kong Country. It was just a lot of fun to just go bubble to bubble and then collect things. The problem with the roguelike is you couldn't collect things because the bubble was always running away from you. And also, it just, again, to sum it up, it just wasn't that fun.
All right, Michael Revit on YouTube says, look great so far, has made a ton of progress. What do you think your team's greatest weaknesses are for this right now?
Greatest weaknesses, I'm going to go with the cliche answer, which is time. Me and Ava both are full-time employees, so our Monday through Friday, we have a 9 to 5, and also we have, of course, our lives after that 5 o'clock. So most of our time developing is on the weekend. So the cliche answer there is time. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Also, this is another classic thing, but scope management. We want to do so much, but we're going to have to cut back on a lot of things. So that's why we're trying to just keep it down to the ship and to just the ocean. But even then, we may need to cut some corners. So, but yeah.
I still think it's well worth it for $1.99. The audio sounds good. Are you thinking of improving that more?
Yeah, something I haven't done. I'm using Unity for the game engine. I've never done audio mixing. I've always just kind of played an MP3 on loop. So something I definitely want to do with this game which would help with immersion is, classic Sonic the Hedgehog. When you're low on oxygen, the music changes to more panicky. The tempo gets faster. Classic anxiety-inducing music, but doing that with audio mixers. So having a track with different layers and then turning up and down certain knobs depending on your oxygen level. I've never done that with Unity, but that's my goal. So I think that would be pretty cool.
All right. If there's anybody out there who could help working through audio mixing in Unity, speak up, let us know. We're going to move to another team. But that was really good. Before we let you go, where can people find your game, find out more about you?
Yep. So I have a small indie game studio. It's really just a place. It's just really me. It's just a place where I do a lot of game jams. So I have an itch page. It's Nitwit Studios, Nitwit with a K. So like you're knitting a ball of yarn or you're knitting a sweater. Knitwitstudios.itch, itch.io, and also knitwitstudios.com, which has a couple of my other games. I've done a lot of game jams and I really enjoy it, but I haven't done any big releases. So I've only done one full market game, so if I get this one out there, this would be my second market game. So I'm looking forward to it.
And Ava, people are saying that they're loving the bubbles. They love the look of the bubbles and the art in general. So good job. And Maddie is winking. I think get the idea of the audio mixing. Sorry, go ahead, Ava.
No, that's just good to hear. Kind of all hand drawn, so kind of a older school, almost Flash style animation, even though it's not made in Flash. So definitely intentionally cutesy with that. And like he was saying, our scope is bigger than what we can manage. So finding things like the backgrounds that we can loop for now to get ahead and get to the fun stuff quicker.
Very cool. All right, everyone, we're going to transition and we'll be back in a couple minutes with the next team. So sit tight.